So, hello, ladies and gentlemen. So, I would be doing some push-ups, and after I've done some push-ups, I'll get back to studying. It just takes 10 minutes or something, right? And the reason for doing push-up is not anything specific. It's just like a habit at this point, right? I just love doing push-ups and stuff like that, I suppose. Yeah. So we would be getting a like a what they call a new a lot of stuff today. That's another thing. But yeah, let me just get some push-ups done. It just feels so relaxing. I'm not gonna lie. And like, yeah, I don't know about you guys, but there are some YouTube videos that are just so relaxing to the soul. I'm not gonna. And today we also need to improve our laptop. So first of all, we're gonna do some reading today. Like, so we're gonna be first doing some reading today. We already did meditation and calming practices in the morning, but I'm gonna do that at night too because I'm not satisfied with what I did. At a reflection, we're gonna go to gym and like yeah. So first of all, we're gonna not stream code, even though statistically or logically it's my day to stream code, but I need a lot of different stuff that I ordered on Amazon, and it will be coming today, which is a good thing first. Second, that's why we would be reading books because we still don't have the thing that we need to actually progress with. That's why it was day to stream code, but that's why we won't be doing. And what else is there? And yeah, we need to upgrade. Another reason I'm not streaming code for the last 2 days or last 2 times is because I want to upgrade the laptop. Right, the laptop is not good enough to sustain multiple monitors and all this kind of stuff while I'm streaming. So that's another thing. But yeah, I'm just gonna do some push-ups now. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. It's like the jumping pressure that you have to have there is kind of high, right? And my hand hurts a little. So and it's time for some push-ups, just some push-ups. I suppose. Okay. I don't know why, but I do have a lot of stuff like that. But when it comes to push up and pull ups and oh my gosh, I'm still not able to do. Even though I've been a lot of them, I think they require a lot of different types of muscle sets. And okay, yeah, now I feel really great for some reason. Phew. Okay. Yeah, right. Time to open up some background music. Right. That background noise feels great. Phew. Okay. And let me add reading code. Right. Yeah. So we have done one thing. We need to take our yeah, so that's done too. It's time to start streaming. Oh, I just love this video, man. But yeah, this video has 69 million views, so we are not allowed to show this video. Okay, yeah. So, and let's just close YouTube because like there's no need to actually watch YouTube, right? And yeah, it's time to read. Let me just okay, it is slightly laggy even though, right? Let's get our ChatGPT here. Task Banner. It is slightly laggy even though there's a lot of surplus memory left. I can pretty much say with yeah. But we are gonna improve our RAM capacity too by extending it all the way to 24 today. Like yeah, just today. We're gonna get this done in just one day or something. So yeah. So by the way, I mean I have to like I can just feel how laggy it gets and how smooth it was. Like yeah, the multiple screen. As soon as I start streaming, like it gets slightly laggy. I think it's like yeah, even if I update my RAM, there's a high chance that nothing may get fixed. But there's a huge chance it may like a little less. So I do not know if RAM would specifically change that or something. But yeah. Mm-hmm. And if it doesn't change anything, let's say per se like RAM, I think it should improve a little bit of performance because there's like more head, like a little bit of performance, not too much. Enough my laptop performance to having better, more RAM doesn't or never hurts. Yeah, but then again, yeah. So right now we were at when prediction misleads, right? No, we weren't at that. We were at yeah, prediction misleads, right? This image, right? The hollow mask illusion. We were at this right yesterday. Hmm. Now here's what pretty much is happening. This is like one of the most coolest stuff that is happening. Yeah. Right. So yeah. So this is what happens. Okay, the response generated by yeah. Okay, this is already ahead. Mine turned upside down. Yeah. No, the idea is simple, guys. Idea is simple. Yeah. The idea is that brain is like the question is if the brain is constantly predicting, right, doesn't that mean it will sometimes hallucinate because it doesn't actually perceive reality, it is predicting reality. And the answer to that simple is like yeah, answer to that question is as simple as like even a child would know, like if you are right predicting the reality rather than ever understanding it, that means there's a high chance that you may end up hallucinating or something. And I'm like, of course that is kind of true, there's a high chance. I just switched the right, and yes, the visual illusions are those. And the section is about when your prior expectations become so strong that they override the sensory evidence. The hollow mask illusion. Imagine a normal face. Yeah, now here's the thing. So they did the hollow mask illusion. Like, yeah, the nose sticks are wood, nothing surprises, right? Now it flips around. Is this max concave? Yes, you do answer yes. But when you actually look your boyfriend, nope, that's no, it looks always wide. The thing is, there's this experimentation where what they did is like they took the normal nose and nose is outside. They took the nose inwards, so the now nose is inside of the face or something. And even when you're looking at, your brain starts to actually hallucinate, right? It starts to, because it's predicting and its priors are telling it that probabilistically, the nose is always outside almost 99% or 99% of the time. If you've ever convinced, not in fact almost all the time in our entire life, the nose have always been outward of any animal, especially humans. So according to predictive, your brain has seen millions of faces, right? And how many look like almost all look like, have a nose. But how many look like concave? Almost none. So your brain has incredibly strong prior faces are convex. No sensory input. Otherwise, the answer thing is concave. The face, the priors is the face are convex. The brain asks which explanation is more probable because the sensitivity is somewhat ambiguous. Sometimes the prior, when you literally perceive a convex face. This is Bayesian inference in action. Bayesian inference. So it's like prior expectation sensing. Normally, strong evidence beats prior, but when evidence is noisier, prior is dominant. That's exactly what happened here. Hmm. Expectations. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, upward gravity almost points downward. The prediction is. Failures are the price you pay for getting things right most of the time. Yeah, the profound principle. But it's slow hesitate. Oh man, if you trust prior knowledge, yeah, you become rigid because you connect everything to the prior. Yeah, we always try to connect everything to the priors. That's kind of like a given. You trust sensory data too much. You never exploit past learning. The art is balancing them. Finally, I think this very going to reveal something much bigger than visual. And the clock isn't really writing about mass. It's perception itself. And perfectly accurate is but some mechanisms that produce illusions. The hollow mask illusion is a bug. That is the window in how perception naturally works, right? The brain always compares the past experiences, priors, first consistency. The past experience and the current sensory evidence, right? And it updates the past experiences. Sometimes it can also shut down the senses because the past experiences says that this shouldn't how it goes. So it thinks that the signal that is coming is noisy, even though what happened is kind of inevitable. Yeah. So yeah, you try to update the models, but this is the most fundamental problem that appears, right? Yeah, so it's like, yeah, garbage prior slightly gets back gradually structured, yeah. But it's more like, guys, you constantly shuts off data. Denies certain if it contradicts heavy priors. Ain't it? The information is coming in slightly threatens the priors priors built over the years, then the neglects the sensory input itself. Not neglect, suppress. And it may even straight SER nice it, and then it's a theory of as to how it functions. Alright, so it created a theory in itself, which is probabilitical. What is the spelling of probabilitical? Yeah. Okay, that's the spelling of probabilistical theory. Doesn't really matter. Theory of how things function, and it updates that over time. I'd fight for it too. Right, that's what happens too, man. We need more RAM. Like, yeah, now I'm done with the RAM. Once I got the RAM, we'll say we need something else too. Like, we always need something, some small upgrade into our setup. And we'll keep on upgrading it for the next couple of years until it's it's already really awesome setup that I have right here. Imagine your brain like a security camera, wall, eye, retina, V1, V2, high codex perception. Flows upward, right? As one more consequence. Oh yeah, but I do need to like go and branch this in a new chat or something. Right, everything I've done so far has an enormous consequence. Well, I do know that. Actually, let's just not branch this. Yeah, it doesn't get saved if you don't have this as a good thing, right? And ChatGPT, there's another thing that I think is like, okay, brain constantly neglects data too. So for example, if the priors are certainly stronger, right? And then you got new evidence. Sometimes when prior are too stronger, you become rigid and you hallucinate patterns, right? Because you reject sensory information, right? And it's like, your priors generate a model of reality. You speak with that model of reality and reinforce that into your brain rather than actually accepting the new sensory data, because this is the same thing we see in like what they call in the book Hollow Mask Illusion, right? It's like when prediction model misleads, it's like, occasionally the prediction model gets wrong, but it's like when priors become heavy, like for example, if it's a religion, the priors become extremely strong. If it's something else entirely, in those kind of conditions, priors becomes like reasonably strong, like reasonably strong. So when prior becomes strong, like your brain starts to, hallucinate a lot of things, I suppose. Okay, it's not loading. What? Okay, ChatGPT. There's this one thing called like a hollow mask illusion, which kind of like talks about like how priors, like how priors can actually mislead the data or the things that you're seeing. So it's like if you had like a certain prior which gives you certain sort of information, you can actually deceive yourself, because it's like, prior sometimes like, becomes reinforce themselves strongly, so they appears too strong or something like that, and then you start hallucinating a reality or some sort of like that, if you see what I mean, right? It's like how we constantly not lie to ourselves. I mean, because this is called people constantly deceive themselves by actually only looking at the evidence they want to look at. But it's more like, they can only look at the prior that they are having, and they don't naturally have the habit to actually find out something that contradicts them. So what they end up doing is like, they reinforce the prior. That means make priors more stronger, because like, yeah, first thing it does that, and then another thing that happens is like, you know a brain constantly reject, because since sometimes information is ambiguous, so if sometimes some small information comes that contradicts the model, the model kind of like removes that information, doesn't pay much attention to it, right? Though if the information comes again and again and again and again and again, like in different ways in different times, like your model do accepts that. So it's not like it's hallucinated, but it's like, yeah, if someday one day, like, you thought like God is everywhere and the God is watching you and there's a religion and there's like yeah, and suddenly someone comes and tells you that, oh, there's no God and you're stupid, right? The brain ignores that sensory data, because according to its priors, it's like, it's literally ignores it. It literally doesn't even assign that salience. It kind of like justifies that, okay, these people are stupid, and now it actually updates different priors to actually justify its own standing, right? So now it starts to consider other people stupid. So it's like then itself, like, that gives, like, that builds a prior that allows it to defend its own priors effectively, right? Yeah. And that becomes like a cascade of hallucination. Oh, it's not sorry. It's actually what Bayesian learned. Supposed to do. Aha. Healthy updating looks like strong prior contradictory evidence. Maybe noise collect more evidence. Unhealthy updating looks like strong prior contradictory explanation. Prior survives repeat forever. Notice what changed. It's protecting identity. Priors reinforce themselves and starts to. Aha. That's fine. Yeah. So no one deceives themselves in the past. Yeah, I used to call people constantly deceive themselves. They don't. They are like a. Yeah, that's what Bayesian learners are supposed to do. On surface, it seems like, oh, people are noisy and stupid, but no, that's what Bayesian learners do. Like, yeah, there's like accumulation. Even this book in itself is like a lot of accumulation of how brain functions, and now you would need another book or something to kind of like detonate my perception of the things, I suppose. Yeah. We would read Gödel, Asher, Bach. Yeah. In like, yeah, heavy abstraction stuff like that, building ability. Yeah. Maybe noise collect more evidence. Yeah. It's protecting identity. Identity is pretty much the statistical. What is identity? What is that, like a self? It's more like the statistical model. Like, yeah, the model of oneself and the world. Right. That's pretty much it. Like, it's, yeah, statistical. Sorry. Sorry for that. That is identity. That's why it kind of like sometimes, but it doesn't does that all the time. And there's clearly enough evidence, right? And if evidence accumulate, what is accumulating the evidence? That is like, yeah, and where are you getting the information to actually accumulate the evidence? That's another thing, right? So if you constantly look at the, like, unnecessary people, where people get betrayed or something like that, and you start to think, oh, you might, like, everyone betrays each other, or something. So you won't be able to function as a proper person because you're always so anxious of like other people betraying you. But that doesn't happen most of the time. People can betray if there are some selfish greed involved, but they don't necessarily betray you if the both of the parties involved have profits to actually get from it. This is why Hollow Musk illusion is so fascinating, right? The visual system. Face are convex. Almost every face you have ever seen have been convex. Almost, not almost. I mean, like 99%, 99 people have seen 99.99999. Like, at least it's not even one. It's not even one in their entire lifeline. Convex with your brain says impossible, so it literally changes your perception. You don't really see it as the prediction dominates the sensory input because the prediction has extraordinarily high confidence. The replace face with religion, politics, economics, self-image. The exact same computational principle applies. Suppose someone has the prior. My political group is morally superior. Now, evidence prediction. The brain has several options: update, ignore, reinterpret, attack the source, build a new belief whose only function is protecting the old one. The last one is what you described beautifully. Right, so we have multiple options. For example, let's if someone attack my political or like something like that, update. It's like, yeah, that's true about ignore, fuck them or something, like, yeah, ignore the sensory data. So it's like you do not assign much salience to the data that came into, and then you have reinterpret, right? Reinterpret it into something that distorted, like, yeah, to fit into your model and into your probability so that it aligns or something. So you do simultaneously update a little, but simultaneously you don't update at all. Right, attack the source. Okay, where does it come from? The validity or something, like, yeah. So you start saying, okay, how do I, like, yeah, what actually makes, like, how can I believe this evidence or something? Like, give me a reason to believe, or give me a reason to update my prior, because you're defensive. You don't necessarily update your prior. Just build a new belief whose only function is protecting the old one, right? So it's like, oh, these people are just gonna target like my political ideas or my political religion or my religion specifically. So whatever they say is kind of bullshit or something. So yeah, that's kind of like, so now the defense, yeah. Formation science has known this for. Suppose my theory predicts planet X should be here. It isn't. Instead of abandoning the theory, I say there must be another invisible planet. Suppose they must discuss exactly with this way. It's pathological. People keep it invincible and solely to rescue a failing theory. Because they think the failure theory is successful, so they must reduce prediction error. But it's not that they are doing it. So, for example, I predict that there is something here, or there is someone that loves me, right? So now, if I realize that they hurt me, right? So I have two options to either update, okay, they don't love me, but I have so much data that says that they love me. So the only explanation is that they were angry. That's why they acted that way. But besides the anger, they love me. Right, but if I have statistical data that said that people cannot love you and there's no such thing as love, like, biologically at least, then you can say, oh, so they don't really love me. And it's like, yeah, they were happy and they like my wife, but they don't love me enough to actually care much about me or something. So it's like you're updating it's the same experience, update different way because you have different statistical power before the information arrives. That's why when information arrives matters a lot more than, yeah, and what information arrives also matters a lot more than you can think. Discovered exactly sometimes, but the people keep inventing invisible entities solely to rescue failing this. Remember, we get they're brainwashed, they're evil. Oh yeah, they're sheep. The media manipulate them. Increasingly self-sealing. So yeah, my friend Bobby is always influenced by a lot of Instagram video which talks about like he like not talks about, but yeah, which gives him the idea that which gives him the idea that life is something you need to enjoy, and you like, yeah, but I believe that life is not something you enjoy. Like, everyone wakes up to work, they go to work, they come back, they work recursively, whether it's you're working on your health or something. Life is not meant to enjoy, right? It's not meant to enjoy. It's meant to work and build something out of it. If you don't build, like, at least it's like, even if you don't build, it's meant to work. You have to wake up every day and work, like go to work again and again and again for the rest of your life. That's like how it works, right? This is the game. There's no such thing as enjoying enjoying the life. Yeah, you can go for vacation sometimes, you can hang around with your friends sometimes, but majority of the time you have to go back to fucking work, right? So yeah, but then again, he has this belief, and then he'll protect that. That's why rich people own the money, because they wanna, like, they wanna, like, yeah. So this is like an entire, so rather than updating, they created this entirely different views, like, which is protecting their priors, right, or something specifically to that. Thing interesting has happened. Originally, your model looked like reality model prediction. Eventually, becomes reality defense layer, defense layer, defense layer. Original model. And they reinforce the same thing in different ways, right? Because each time prediction are apparent rather than updating. So it's like, no, they are updating. There's no such thing as not updating. That in itself is what I'm hallucinating at. That's why reality is so probabilistic. But so rather than that, there's a high probability that they're going to find some closest thing to actually, because an error accumulates. So now they must reduce errors. So one thing is by updating the model itself, that the model of reality was wrong, or yeah, so error constantly accumulates, so they get angry, right? So they're trying to they're trying to reduce the error, right? So for example, yeah, me and my friend had a discussion on like a local shop, and he was saying like, oh, this person earns a lot, and I'm like, no, this person only said tea and chai, and he's like, no, these tea and chai actually earns like 1 lakh rupees, and I'm like, that just doesn't make sense. You just earn about 5 rupees on a one chai, even if there's 100 customers, and they said like, yeah, this guy has more than 100 customers every day. That's still 500 rupees by the end of the day. That's not much. That's literally nothing. That's statistically 500 rupees are not even going to make you like in 10 days you earn about 5,000, 15, and like, yeah, so that's like statistically nothing. Like that's just like 15,000 rupees a month or something. That's why this is a chai wala, not a like, restaurant, a premium restaurant or something. But he doesn't want to accept that, because in his idea that, oh, chai and cigarette earns a lot of money. But I'm like, no, that doesn't, right? And but then again, so like the idea was like, and like I was just did the basic math. Even if there are 500 people that comes to your shop, which is statistically impossible for that, but let's just say if there's 500 people throughout the day that come to your shop or something, and they eat like 500 chai and 500 cigarette, that still by the end of the day it's like 500. Right. So, and then I realized, okay, like, okay, according to my logic or my priors, which was like, okay, chai doesn't cost, like the margin on chai is not that great. And even if you have this that much people, if you just do simple math, according to my priors, statistically, this guy doesn't earn that much. Right, as much he's saying, but according to him, because like he's seen like Shaiwala with a lot of like customers and stuff like that, and his friends saying that they'll earn a lot of money according to his prior, according to his system. It's like, yeah, but I did the same simple math to make him believe that that is not possible, right? If you do 13 to 500, that's like again, that's like 15,000 or something. And then we looked like do that, so it's like 50,000. Yeah, that guy doesn't earn that much. Yeah, so I am becoming increasingly like convincing that, yeah, his only source of money is through turf. Turf is pretty much hiring a small area to play cricket. That's all. Yeah, only by sacrificing accuracy. Another piece of the system and constantly gets coherent stories from incomplete information that preserves the narrative rather than building it. The one reason, even when they are incomplete, right? That become a cascade. You said that becomes a cascade of today's perception that is insufficiently constrained by sensory evidence. It's on hallucination. Their bed has overly rigid generative model. Reality is still entering the system. Is the prediction errors are constantly assigned too little precision? Okay. And in fact, those errors aren't trustworthy, so it updates only weekly. Predictive processing emphasizes the balance between the priors and incoming precision, not only simply a mismatch. Yeah, the overall institution is strong but adequate. Correct precision to prediction error. Yeah, which prediction error are true or not? Sometimes prediction error comes, but it's not like you are not like it's just that you don't assign much what they call like a precision onto it. So yeah, you do update the model though. You always, I guess, you always update the model to some degree, if not to most degree. So model does get updated all the time, right? Like that when we had a communication, it's like you either reinforce a belief, your belief got destructed or something. But yeah, I kind of like agreed because I didn't want it to hurt his ego. But yeah, his idea that that guy earns like 1 lakh. Yeah, the only place he earns from Trough. But if you didn't include Trough, he's like, yeah, that guy doesn't earn that much. And if you read the expenses, like even though he owns the land, like he must be paying some like loan to the bank. There's almost 4 workers, like one because it's a big place and it takes a lot of people to sustain it. Like yeah, but he's kind of like automated it, so there's like 3 to 4 workers, like there. So there's 4 workers, right? And then like yeah, so 4 workers. So like even if they takes like 12,000, that's like 12, 24, 36, 48, right? Almost all like yeah, so that's literally 48,000, and then the electricity and all that. So 50 to 60,000 is like the cost of sustaining that place. So let's just take like yeah, he has solar panels and he's trying to do his best, but there's AC, there's fan, there's like all the cooking machines and appliances, and there's a big area. So even no matter how much you like to deny it, like the cost of sustaining that place, like with 4 workers and all that, it's like 12, 24, 36, 48, then the 10,000, 50, 60. It's like at least 60,000, 60 to 65,000. The cost of sustaining that. And on the top of that, if that person is earning 1 lakh, which I like, yeah, so he's earning only about 30 to 40,000 a month or something. That's literally it, what he gets from that investment. But yeah, there's a lot of games. So I guess he may be earning 50 to 60,000 too, because like there's a land gaming there. But then again, yeah, there's land gaming which like takes 70 like 70 rupees. But yeah, there's only 2 or 3 people that comes every day, and on Sundays there's like 5 to 10 people, right? So it's like it doesn't earn that much as of like the investment that he must have done. So his investment was something like 60 lakhs or something on the entire area. But I guess he must have bought the property long back ago or something. But yeah, what he built it like earns money, but it doesn't earn money. Like it doesn't is a cash flow machine, right? It's like investment is too little and the earning is just too high. No, it's not like that at all. Only rigid generative models assign too little prediction. Prediction are constantly assigned too little precision. It's untrustworthy. Then it depends less on having strong beliefs than on assigning the correct precision to prediction error. Yeah. Everything you've learned so far has an enormous consequence. Your brain upside down. Let's compare the pictures. Yeah. World eye retina. So yeah, he did got prediction errors inside of that. But wait, it's not defense layer. I mean ChatGPT, but it's not defense layer, right? I mean, like the thing is like there's no such thing as defense layer. It's just the model still updates. Like for example, if information that is contradictory appears to the model, right? So there is a prediction error. So now there's certain ways to reduce a prediction error. The one way is to actually update the model. The another way is to actually find out the reason why to not update the model, right? And yeah, something. So I think the people just go on to like different statistical prior, which influences the decision that the model is already correct and the prediction that are appearing is like kind of false, or the information that the organism, the input that we are getting is not trustworthy. That means its precision to yeah, so it's like the precision assigned to that information is not high. That's why like model uses its and that's why model reinforces itself, because like so yeah, if you have constantly contradictions that appears like small contradiction, that kind of like again and again reinforces the like the model or something, right? So it's like update still happens, right? Updating still happens. Or refuses to update, it simply updates whichever latent variable exits the data while minimizing overall surprise. First rate probability. Giving evidence doesn't simply have an error magnitude. Hmm. Where should I put this? I can put it here actually, yeah. Yeah, so it's like, yeah. This actually explains a lot of reality. Right, and right, like models that gives predictive edge or something or that reduces uncertainty, so even if they're false. So I don't know. I don't think so. Like predictive processing is a false model, but it does explain a lot about reality. So the compression is just insane level, man. Let's just hope it's not a false model. Let's just hope evolution is not a false model. That would just fuck me over. Just accumulation of errors, right? Yeah. So that is like an accumulation of errors. How? What would you call anxiety then? Uses. But all of spikes it. First, there's regarding the what they call yeah. That is like a statistical prior. A huge metabolic cost. Great utility. Investment. Dependence. Farming too. They want to be accepted too. Associated to that person. Didn't simply have error magnitude also estimates. So roughly effective prediction error expression. A little with low precision may barely change belief. Ah, over time. Time. Precision changes, right? If that's what I did, okay. Radically. And yes. If that small thing matters. Precision assigned to sleep. But it's better. Over the years, I've reduced everything, right? Over the years, yeah. Over the years, yeah, I've coded everything. Now I'm building a neural structure that could actually work throughout the days or something without, like, even on the days when it's fucking tired, even on the days when it's fucking broken, even on the days when nothing feels great, even on the days. Yeah, that's what it takes, yeah. Because a lot of days I don't feel great. Like, yeah, in the great deals, it's like, yeah, anti-fragile, Nicholas Taleb, once again, Taleb. It's like, yeah, if a system can maintain itself under conditions when it's already kind of like broken, sad, upset, or something like that, then it can definitely contain or maintain itself under conditions when, like, so it's like the little shocks doesn't do, like, even big shocks doesn't harm the system. That means, like, when there are no shocks, the system perform catastrophically well compared to other systems. Okay, there's construction voice downstairs, so you guys would be able to hear that. Let me just uh, put this really close and kind of decrease the volume intake or something for now, right? Because I don't want you guys to listen to background noise for now, so we would be going with this for now, just for now, right? So that's the thing, guys. Like, yeah. There's only some more, but at the end of the day, humans are fragile to a huge degree, right? I mean, there's some things they always need. So they are fragile, but anti-fragile at the same time, right? There are a lot of things that are fragile, but there are a lot of things like that are adaptive or something. Like, yeah, just one human connection works so much well with me. Just, one human connection. So yeah, that's why that one human connection has a lot of precision, right? Because they like, yeah, because they are the only way to reduce the prediction error. So they have massive salience, even if they are pretty much trash, which they are. Right, so that's it, like, how this goes, right? Yeah, whether it's my girlfriend or my best friend Bobby, like, yeah, they're pretty trash, but it's like, the only people don't have much say, I guess. Yeah, so it gives I shouldn't be saying this kind of stuff publicly. Ha, but who cares? But that's the kind of stuff, like even the people around you kind of stupid or dumb. I mean, at the end of the day, they still have, like, what they call. Yeah. Okay. Simply change a different variable than the one observer. Even stronger, the model may learn whenever information contradicts by value, the kind of source tends to be unreliable. Ah, you've learned a meta prior. Future contradictory evidence from similar sources will automatically receive lower precision, right? So you can have a prior which says like whatever contradicts my worldview, that kind of source tends to be unreliable or something. That made a prior further contradiction evidence from some associable automatically single persistent discipline with belief system becoming increasingly resistant to change. Not because they stop learning, because they learn how to hallucinate, how to allocate. Not because like, okay, there's a lot of biases among their authors too, and they're fucking stupid in their own sense, right? Everyone kind of is. So that's why where like I would never assign any precision to what they say. To what was his name again? Like Jordan Peterson. Back then, I assigned massive precision to him, his ideas. But then again, his ideas never comparison to give any meta model of reality. They just like but they were good. I'm not gonna lie. His book was good though. Like 12 Rules for Life, it was good. I mean, I'm not gonna say it was the best book, but yeah, it definitely had a lot of impact on me, and it was like a really good read. So not gonna lie about that. But then again, it doesn't actually give anything that actually updates your predictive model of reality catastrophically well. Like this understanding of how brain even updates the model is way more advantageous. Understanding evolution is way more advantageous. Like the Peterson book doesn't even come close. But what I'm saying is like yeah, so that's why I won't assign like in fact if you are just starting out, I think you won't be that open to evolution stuff like that. So you can read his book or books like that, or even in philosophy. I stopped assigning like precision at all to philosophy. It's not like I do assign it to even right now in books like literary fiction too. But from precision, I mean it's just far much efficient, and it's just far much more better to not assign that much precision. Like philosophy, in fact, it's like because a lot of authors hallucinate and they create their own terms, and then they start explaining things in their own ways, and they become like, yeah, they start to build beliefs, they justify belief or something. They start playing with beliefs themselves, they end up building a lot of things. Yeah, if you do not deceive yourself, then that may kind of hurt, I guess, over time. Alright, that's kind of given. That's what I thought back then, though, but that's not true. Hallucination is the byproduct of allocated precision or wrongly allocated precision or something in biological, like in a species. Yeah. Yeah, you can look at the page. And then we were at mine turned upside down, right? Huh. Okay, it's really cold in my room now because of AC. Let's just hope that whatever I'm building, the AC controller works or something. Everything I've learned so far has enormous consequence. It literally turns the classical view of brain upside down. World eyes retina V1 V2 higher cortex perception information flow up with the brain waves the world speak. Stimulus driven or bottom up processing. Yeah, but he changes that narrative. He says it's predictive processing. Now copy the arrow before you. Yeah. Right. This is how it should be, honestly. So yeah. So he flips the arrow and he's like, yeah, the reality is only a different style of predictive processing, higher context predictions. In life's only differences travel upward. This is why chapter is called Mind Turned Upside Down. The main the brain wall is instead flawed by brain connection, yeah. And put away these systems are already busy predicting. Think about it. Imagine you're waiting for someone to knock before they knock. She is already prepared when they knock. The sound doesn't create perception from touch, modifies already active prediction. The decreased list of spontaneous correlated neuron activation that take place even in the absence of context stimulation. Clearly, all of this is ongoing. We represent the last step in this. Yeah, to the emerging class of. Instead, they are actively trying to predict, the streams of sensory. Before an input arrives on the Predictive cognitive systems are already busy predicting the most of probable shape and implication. Like that are already pretty much constantly. Oh yeah, but you can have multiple models associated. So like a more complex system would have a precision enhancement. So like what you can do is like a model can create multiple models simultaneously while assigning different values to different positions, right? So it's like entirely different models. And then it can create hundreds of different models based on different positions to different inputs. And then it kind of like start experimenting itself and start to track its own deviations, right? And what those deviations, so like it has multiple models. If some model doesn't work, it tries to actually apply a different model. And if that model doesn't work, it gets feedback, right? And then it applies another model and then applies another model. It's like, yeah, so it applies multiple models to ongoing situation. And then the output comes. And then, but then again, what do you know is the best model or something? Like, yeah, that's, that's again the problem, right? I mean, there's no such thing as best model. There's just a model that predicts reality better, right? So how do you know? Like, yeah, how do you, like, yeah, so if a model allows you to predict reality better, that one will win. Like, yeah, so only game-changing winner is, like I said, then another system that actually predicts which model predicts the reality better. So yeah, it's prediction over prediction model. Predictive model, so yeah, that's another meta layer you have. And then that model constantly get, like, yeah, but simultaneously different model gets updated would be very good. Like, you know, rather than just one model getting updated, right? So it's like you have multiple models and then, yeah, constantly poised to act. All they need to process are sense deviation from prediction state. These calculated deviation for prediction errors has that information informing us of what is salient. Barrage, yeah. But we can see action is done by the response to its input. Input during the learning cycle. The going state actively moving out so to bring some of the bring forth the evolving suite of sensory information to keep us viable that serves the inclusion. With action incorporated predictive processing implements accidentally bump down for flowing neural prediction that drives prediction and action circular causal for incoming sensory information is just one further factor perturbating those restless proactive seeds. As ever active prediction engine, these kinds of brains are not fundamentally the business process at all, rather they are busy predicting their inputs. Keeps a pursuit action and allows the mobile embodied agents to retrieve on the world, bringing about the sensory field to keep the vibe. These stories are targeted we expect so and the input and the one guessing machine for I will try to stay one step ahead by surfing the incoming waves of we are not cognitive couch. This is like his way of saying like we are not a fucking cognitive couch. What the fuck do you even believe? Adjusting the volume, noise, signal, attention. Yeah, finally we got into precision or something. Yeah. Sentence click before any inputs, like busy predicting modify. Here's an analogy. The king pulled the sword from the stone. The brain fuck. The king pulled the sword from the and then suddenly brain says stone. Like yeah, before reading. The next word is sword. Almost no surprise. If it's a refrigerator, use prediction error. Reading works exactly because your brain predicts continuously. Okay. But it's not just about reading, it's about, you know, let's say for example in comedy too, your brain fuck. It's the art of being expected. So for example, yeah, it's the art of being conked and says something stronger. He says the brain is constantly active, even when nothing is happening. White brain. And the video knows there's a very active brain. Should I keep simulating predictive planning, dreaming, rehearsing? Why? Because reading is inefficient. Would you rather until the child runs into the road than react? Overwhelmingly favors strategy. Prediction saves time. Action is not when response to input of yours. Move I is received. Searching for your phone, you don't stand still waiting. You turn your head, move your walk, lift paper, every moment selecting the next sensory input. part of perception. This connects to something called active inference. Suppose your brain predicts my coffee mug is on the desk. You look, prediction confirmed. Prediction, suppose it is in prediction error. Now you move your head, look elsewhere, search the kitchen. Every moment is reducing uncertainty. You're not just rating by the clock says something else that easy to miss. Incoming sensor is just one fact. Boy, what is it? Imagine the ocean. The waves are always moving. Changes the rock changes the way it doesn't create them. Duty is already flying the sensory predicate it that itself onto brain link like ink on paper crack the brain already contains a evolving model merely edits it. Here's the biggest idea of the chapter. Brain is always trying to explain reality. It's trying to stay one step ahead of reality. Tiny correction always more synchronized. That's why prediction is useful. Finding the best outcome. Up to now, the story has been prediction perception. One option is revise your belief. In cybernetics, yeah, so they are controlling, yeah, the control loop, yeah, right, so yeah. Damn. Oh, it's time to add another page, I suppose. Oh. I can read this one by myself, actually. Okay, I think I should have it like this, yeah. Signal spotting. If we look for them, most of us can find shifting phase forms hidden among the clouds. We can see forms of insects hidden in the potted wallpapers or snake nesting around the colorful shells of carpet. Yeah. Not imply the ingestion of mild altering substances. We are already experts of cell alteration. When we look for our car keys on the cluttered decks, we somehow alter our perceptual processing to help isolate the target item from the rest. Spotting the actual car keys and spotting the non-existent face tree. Not all that different, at least as far as the form of underlying process is concerned. It's a better to extract signal from noise. I think there's a lot of, by the way. Such modification look to play a truly major role in tuning both long and short term of the onboard probabilistic prediction machine that contact with reality. The present chapter explores the space and nature of such online modifications. Discussions there related with familiar notions such as attention and expectation and displays a possible mechanism. In a wide range of signal enhancement effect. Displays are possible. That's why you need precision. That means which you assign, like which is the best source of like assigning prediction errors or something to you, right? Yeah, and that's why like you need an identity formed online or something. That's another good way to actually look at it. Yeah, and that's why you also need high RAM in your laptop. I'm gonna get that in 1 or 2 hours once my delivery comes. I bet my delivery already came or something, and my mom picked it up or something. But yeah. Yeah, my mom called. Yeah, so there's a definitely a high chance the delivery already came, right? We can, like, yeah, but we are starting tuning both long and short term on the board probabilistic prediction machine that underpins our contact with reality. Hmm. That may be implemented in a wide range of signal enhancement effects. Precision weighting. So now it's precision, right? So we still haven't moved to the active inference part yet. We're like, actively, but yeah, we're moving to precision right now. Hack number 48 in Tom Stafford and Matt Webb wonderfully engaging book mind hacks is called detect sounds on the margins of certainty. Based on previously experimental work by the hack invites the reader first to listen to 30 seconds sound file. The reader is instructed that the sound file contains a hidden sample of, but that sample is very faint and may begin in first, second, or third, or aha and 10-second segment of the sound file. Try to by clicking. To start this experiment with undergraduate student and find that almost 1/3 of the students reported detecting the onset of the song. Right? In fact, as you may have guessed by now, there is no white crystal hidden anywhere in the noise. The ability of some detect similar song is just an experience. In this case, a kind of overextension of an ability of central to certain perception in general. The ability to discount some aspect of signal and treating them as noise while accounting others as treating them as signal. Yeah. The ability. This ability, deployed under influence of strong expectations of a weak, hard to detect fragment, allows many perfectly normal subjects to enjoy effect an auditory hallucination. The effect can even be amplified. It turns out by a combination of stress and caffeine. Now consider second kind of case, sine wave speech. Since sine wave speech. Okay, let me just make us wait a second. Let me just check if my delivery generally came or not, which is like the should say what should ordered. Like yeah, we may start going in with that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of things are delivered today already. Arriving 21 delivered today. Yeah, there's just a couple things that are left, which would be arriving later, I suppose. Yeah, but we get what we wanted, and now we're gonna get the RAM 2 today. So that's like yeah. So our hardware process is kind of like getting better too. Shall I read more? Like I'm getting prediction error spike, right? Like the reason why I'm not able to study right now, or my brain desires, like yeah, I'm in a flow, but my brain desires to go downstairs and check the products that came to reduce uncertainty about the products itself, and the ability to suppress uncertainty comes from okay, that not suppress, but it's like the ability to not assign salience, to not assign importance to the predictions that are prediction errors that are constantly appearing. That's what meditation does, like. So even when there are a lot of prediction errors, your brain doesn't really assign much salience. I don't know if it's salience or precision. Let's call it precision for now, not salience. Precision to them, which is what we call precision weighting, right? So it's like when you are sitting down and you're like, oh, shall I wake up or shall I stand up? Like when you're meditating, your brain constantly goes, oh, shall I do this? Shall I eat the food? Shall I do X, Y, and Z? It's constantly creating predictions and it's constantly want to do something that constantly spikes uncertainty and reduce it. But when you're meditating, what you're pretty much saying, okay, all of the predictions that are appearing, we're not going to pay attention to them. We're just going to pay attention to our breath. So we don't give a shit about all the prediction errors that are constantly appearing and all of the things that we must be doing right now. We only give a shit about our breath, and that's how you reduce or pretty much develops an ability to actually not pay much attention or salience or precision to all of the that is coming across in your brain, right? And this is why attention matters a lot, where your attention is going into what things you're actually assigning precision to, right, over time, I suppose. Yeah, I am becoming a real deal. Like, okay, now you'll say, okay, Varik, I don't get why you're saying you're becoming a real deal, because buddy, in the past it was basic helpful books like 1984, right, and like your philosophy and literary fiction and my own perception, and like now that I look back, I used to hallucinate a lot that compared to right now about the reality and the stuff and the people, and there were a lot of trash priors, right, especially after going to sports and especially after meditation, like that I'm kind of like trying to include in my routine. I think my ability to actually make better decisions and be normal would be simultaneously increased catastrophically, right? Yeah. Yeah, trust me, it is going to increase. Like in the past, because now I'm looking at the book that I've read in the past, and Atomic Habits, Dopamine Nation. Dopamine Nation was kind of good. Like extreme size of pleasure kind of like ruins you. Atomic Habits was kind of two habits like matters a lot more than you think. But like yeah, those books are really kind of noisy and stuff like that. They kind of like gives precision to things that don't really matter. Habits only emerge if there's environment, if there's a predictive model that constantly tells you or assigns precision to some sort of like activity that reduces uncertainty, right? So you're gonna stick to an activity even if it's not like yeah, as long as you believe that that activity is generally gonna reduce uncertainty for you in the long run. Same goes for the health. So if you do believe the health is really really important, so it's more like actually having a model that constantly reinforces that health is important by let's say watching YouTube videos or something about it, by watching like informative videos like how reading is so important. Like if you have that model, that constantly reinforces that again and again. If you have a model that constantly reinforces that you need to do SaaS business or you need to do online business, then you're going to do it. And you generally believe that it's going to reduce extreme amount of uncertainty regarding your future. Let's say you don't even earn money right now or something and you're homeless or something. So like, or maybe owning a business or doing a business is going to reduce extreme amount of uncertainty for you in the future or something. Then you start doing it. So it's not about habit, even if the environment pretty much is against it. It's just that you must believe, or the environment, at least at this initial phases, must reinforce into believing that it reduces uncertainty for you in the long run. That's how active inference and shit like that happens. So what I'm pretty much trying to say, and then you have evolution, yeah, and you need a I need probabilistical thinking too, right? I need to add that. So it's like when these kind of stack, like yeah, I am becoming a real deal. Like in the past, these books and also different kind of like notes on there, and there was a long time when I used to read on phones. Like I've switched from books to phones to laptop to right now there's like obsidian based learning, right? Back then it was just like PDF and reading from PDF. There was no obsidian or something, but you guys are getting what I'm trying to say here, right? Like over time I have changed a lot, and I would say about just 1 year ago I was a dimwit. About just 2 years ago I was like catastrophically dimwit. And I must say in my journey of like accumulating all this information or something, like yeah, I'm starting to see like a lot of things. A lot of people assign salience or not salience, precision to our importance to like activity like earning money or something, because that reduces uncertainty for them. That's why they constantly keep on doing it. It's not like, yeah. In the past, you may think a person who is rich is just pretty much that over time they have like catastrophically reduced uncertainty, and like the more the money they earn, the more they get rewarded for earning money. So like their hard work or efforts keeps on getting rewarded. So like yeah, the loops keeps on closing. If they work hard and money doesn't come, they're not gonna work harder. They're gonna get back to distractions or something like that. It's like the same goes for me right now, but I've blocked all the distraction by using Blocker Hero, two blocker apps. I've blocked everything from my like cold turkey blocker. I've blocked everything from my laptops. It's like yeah, only the YouTube remains though. Like yeah, but you get the gist. And then I believe generally that reading books is going to reduce uncertainty catastrophically for me in the long run. That's why doing it becomes viable, right? And then I had like a brain neural structure in the past which wasn't able to sustain itself, maintain itself. Decides it's like what society in the past I got influenced by a lot of what people said. So there was a lot of precision into that errors. So they were error accumulating there that needs to be reduced. And then they're like I felt powerless, but now there's not much precision to society, to girlfriend, to people, to anyone, right? So it's like now this is like how I am reinterpreting everything that happened in the past. This is what generative model does, right? It generates the same thing, but now it's get reinterpreted every way, and now it's like this is exactly what he says in the Man Search for Meaning, like the very essence of like the very speech of every moment in its transitoriness, and how that transitoriness can be actualized, has some actualized potential which can be actualized when it's reinterpreted in such a way and then stored and then they become stored realities or something like that. That's what he was saying, like Viktor Frankl. If I where's the book, but yeah, in his book Man's Search for Meaning. But you get the gist. So that's like how everything kind of like functions. It's like your priorities, what you believe can reduce uncertainty for you, what kind of information changes and updates the prior statistically over long periods of time, right? How sometimes small things can actually lead to massive recoil because you prioritize those things because you think those things actually have a lot of importance or precision to them, and that and how that causes second order effects to emerge and then do a lot of crazy shit, but how that appeared because of prior experience and exposure, and it's like a cascade of a lot of things, but you get the gist. I'm now able to understand humor far much more than I used to understand them in the past, right? I used to think, okay, yeah, environment influences you, but the only part is not that environment influences you. It's more like how the environment, changes the very precisions to the errors that accumulates, and how that catastrophically alters a lot of things, man. Yeah. Yeah. New speech, sine wave speech. Would have become. Over time, you may even become expert enough to spell normal sentence. At that point, you a native hearer of spine rage. It's just one instance of that. Sensory. Is rooted in the creation and deployment of a generative model. We see such influence in all modalities and across modalities. A well-known example. The first style all that most people can see is a pattern, light and shadow. There's a dog? Dalmatian dog. I really don't know what the fuck that is. Dalmatian. Okay, dog. Oh, where the fuck is the dog? I still can't see it though. Is this a dog? Somewhere I still can't see it. Yeah, but I have done these experiments in the past, so I do know that alta perception, which is like very famous on YouTube at some point. For the most part, they'll compose a variety of subpersonal states. The most they'll comprise a variety of subpersonal states. The one perceptual inference, since it makes what we know both consciously and more often non-consciously about the whole prime player in the construction of perceptual experience. I think here, the place I live at, is like I was so behind the world, right? But now I'm ahead of the world, right? Okay. So, for example, back then, when we have Elon Musk like reading about physics and stuff like that, right, or something like that, you see what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying that Elon Musk is ahead of time. Is like back then, like these people know about AI in 2015. I mean, and how something like even AI is possible in 2015. That means they had the ability. Yeah, they knew. That's why they made it in 2021. But they must have at least some idea that AIs are possible, how they are possible, how what predictive processing is, how AI reduces uncertainty, how probability testing, statistics, whatever. But these people already knew about that kind of stuff, man. And if they didn't knew, they at least learned about it so early. Like yeah, and yeah, it's a yeah. Well, more abstract but quite fundamental to accounts. That something is crucial to perpetual success. The exact signal from noise by forming and deploying focus and fine. That ability focus and the rest lies at the heart of predictive processing, treatment of tension. Major role accounting for both normal and abnormal forms of contact with the world. Very greatly in demand to make us sure. Okay, so I have started reading chapter 2, and like he gives like introduction of like hearing being or something like. There's this topic, and there's this like at 2.1, like in the chapter 2, there's signal spotting. I've read that, and there's another topic which is hearing being, which talks about like how you hear a normal sound, and if they tell you that there's like a Christmas song playing, then you start hallucinating that, oh yeah, that random sound has a Christmas song playing, but it's not actually. There's no Christmas song in it. Or if you have a picture, if you see a dog in it, which is like a hidden dog or something in a, like you start seeing the hidden dog like in the picture, and then you can't unsee it, something like that. So it's like, and how you see random images at clouds, like people like images or something. So it's like you're trying to find pattern or information, or like on from different things. And like, yeah, sometimes you hallucinate too, because you are like, unnecessarily extracting something that doesn't exist there, right? But the thing is, like, the delicate dance between top down and bottom up. I'm sending you like the picture. This is the topic. I just wanted to update you. Like, chapter 1 is completed up to this point, like, or of our communication and like understanding the thing. And now we are out the chapter 2, and I've already read that part. That part was relatively simple, so I'm now sending you a different part, and you just need to explain that to me, okay? Yeah, which is 2.3. Yeah. Guys, I really wanna go to washroom. I really wanna go downstairs. I really wanna bring water bottles. I really wanna do stuff. We are effectively studying for, let's say, 1 hour by now, or 50 minutes. So yeah, but before we do that, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna be back in like a couple minutes, or like, yeah, something like that. I'll be back. Yeah, guys, I'm back, I suppose. Yeah, so I am kind of back, actually. Yeah, let me just do it like this, like, yeah, like that. Yeah, so I'm back, alright, okay. Yeah, we need to actually get like a screenshot from here, which is like a precision. Now it should generate a response. The AI, we got the photos done, man. So we already got like prediction, like a couple of systems, like, yeah. It's pretty hard to keep track of like a concept integrated, right? When should we trust our prediction and when should we trust our senses, right? Aha, actually, I do have to go to the market. Now you'll check your Varik because I want to check. Okay, I want to update my laptop, right? So, guys, like, yeah, we need to end our stream, I guess, and I'll start it like 1 or 2 hours. Like, yeah, it's better to go just right now and, like, yeah, be back by the afternoon, right? And get everything upgraded and just that sake, right? Yeah, or something specifically to that. Yeah. What is section 2 is probably one of the most important ideas in entire predictive framework. Imagine you're walking, your brain always has two sources of information. One comes from experience. Okay, yeah, but even right now, if I go to Task Manager, the screens are lagging. But if you just literally check, like, the memory is just being used 13. How is it 13 being used? I mean, okay. By the way, by the monitors, so data, right? Yeah, this looks way more reliable, yeah, than that. So, but okay, why is there okay after 13? I know. Okay, so you need like a free up space of 5 GB or something, 5 6 GB for it to function optimally. But I will give it like about a free space of more 8 GB, then it will function even better because like the max I hit is like 16 GB or something. So like, yeah, today we're gonna get the RAM updated. So like, yeah, the multiple monitors would work, and when I start hitting 20 or something, I'll get switched to like 32 or something. Yeah. The central question: imagine you're walking, your brain has two sources of information. Too much noise in the background, man. Your brain always has two sources of one comes from experience. I know what usually happens. Imagine two situation A, you're driving home, same road, same building, same exact clear area. Your predictions are excellent. You don't need to expect the area. So top down. No, bottom up. Into what your eyes are actually telling you. Okay. Clark says neither strategy is always correct. The brain constantly shift towards them. Then comes the new concept precision. This is probably the single new concept introduced in chapter 2. People often think prediction error is enough. Actually, no. Precision error itself has to be weighted. Imagine hearing knock. Now imagine the situation when you are in a crowd. Like you hear a knock, very clear, very prediction. Standing beside a jet engine, you hear someone. Very knows a prediction error shouldn't matter much less. Same prediction error, different reliability. Clark call this precision. You can think of precision. How much should I trust this prediction error? Not was an error. How much weight should I give this to error? Imagine prediction error equals 10. Now multiply by suppose fog reliability. If ignore most of it. Reliability when effective error. Now you pay attention. Clark isn't literally saying brain multiplies these number, but that's what precision weighting. When it comes to attention, this is the really beautiful part. Like attention is precision control. This changed neuroscience. Certain prediction. Imagine how you're reading. Suddenly, someone says your name. Instantly, your system. Every tiny sound becomes important. Now you're trying to solve a math problem. Background conversation become low precision. Prediction error for those voices gets ignored. Attention is literally changing the gain. Clarke even uses the analogy of a volume knob. This prediction error arrives. The brain asks how loud should I? If it's relay, it turn the volume up. It's gonna turn the volume down. That's precision weighting. The fog is excellent. Suppose everything is blurry. Your eyes are normally the whole visual scene has low precision. Now suddenly your tiny band become crystal clear. Now what the brain doesn't continue treating the past like a fog and says no reliable increased precision there. No. And from that area becomes more important. Noting something, the brain isn't only predicting how, it's also predicting how reliable the sensors are. Predicting whether the prediction errors themselves should be trusted. Listening this section is much more. It's currently more trustworthy. Imagine you're writing a software supposed to intuit this feature will work. 10 users complain now. Ask should you trust your intuition and then use it. The answer depends on the of each source. Exactly the same computation. It's predicting the precision of the errors. Okay, it's predicting. Okay. Blew my mind. It also blew my mind. It's also reliable how senses are. Okay, what prediction error did the senses give? ये monitor कभी सही से लगा ही नहीं यार. Like yeah, literally this monitor never worked since the start. I can actually remove it and add a new one or something. Like not new one, it's like kind of like yeah, but I guess it doesn't really matter at this point really. I just need to kind of like knock that up or something. Yeah, I should do that. Here's something the club doesn't quite spell out, but it's incredibly precision. Error alone is not enough. Imagine a toddler. The toddler static on old radio. There are thousands of prediction errors. Should the brain learn from every tiny fluctuation? No, most of it is just noise. Learning from noise would destroy the model. That is why attention learning become deeply linked with predictive. Attention is not merely selecting what to process, it's selecting which prediction it deserves to change the model. Something you'll appreciate because of the book you're reading. This idea of perceiving is the bridge between predictive and control theory. Aha! Equally to every signal, it estimates whether a signal is a noise or general disturbance. Kalman, Fitter, Bayes, and introduce Pierce prediction, observation, estimate, observation, reality. Error, update the model. The same responded. Tap to yeah. Okay, by the way guys, like I've done that, but we're gonna read this by myself when I come back. We're gonna be back in 2 or 3 hours, right? Once we got the more RAM done.